Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm talking about the last week of July, the last week that we are in Cancer season. The intensity of this week and everything that is going on in the heavens is no joke. It is definitely, we are all in for a ride for sure. It's a very intense week this week as we are exiting out of Cancer and as the sun will be moving into Leo very shortly next week. So there are a whole bunch of different things that I wrote down about the energies that are happening this coming week, over this weekend, that you can expect to be rising within you, to be feeling. And just know that the intensity that you are currently feeling is not an accident. There's nothing wrong with you. It's happening to all of us. And we just have to really know how to best ride out this wave. So I'm going to be listing a bunch of different questions that you can ask yourself at this time, and just being inquisitive will be very, very helpful when it comes to your emotions. So let's talk about the sign of Cancer just for a quick second. The sign of Cancer is water sign. So it has to do with our emotions. Cancer people tend to be quite emotional. They tend to have very deep emotions as well. So with the new moon happening in Cancer, it is going to be intensifying emotions that we already have buried within us, and it is going to be pushing them to the surface. So as you feel this energy and as we move through this weekend, the new moon is actually happening on July the 17th, which is on Monday. So it's coming up in a couple of days. And the very first thing that you can ask yourself for this new moon is, or before the new moon actually happens, or during the new moon, is what do I need to release at this time? What emotions have I buried that need acknowledging? And it's going to really erupt quite intensely. All of July, I've made a video on this. All of July is a very intense month to begin with because of all the very intense astrology that we have going on. But in particular, this new moon is really, really asking us to acknowledge the feelings, the emotions, the things that you have buried within yourself. And I don't know how much you guys can hear, but there's actually a thunderstorm happening right now as I'm filming this. And I thought it was just very ironic how it started to rain literally 5 minutes before I sat down to record this video. So I think Spirit's trying to reiterate the emotionality of this weekend and of the coming week. So what are you willing to let go that has been bothering you for some time? And willingness here is the key. I've underlined it several times because there must be a willingness in order for release to happen. So the new moon wants you and supports you, allows you to have a fresh start with regards to your emotions. This is a purging time, a clearing out time. It's a freedom. There's like a sense of freedom that is going to be coming with this release. If you are willing to release, if you are willing to let go. Pay attention to your responses, your emotional reactions, your possible triggers when interacting with people, and pay attention to who is triggering you and why. And this is an important one because it will give you really good insight into the people that are triggering you. And if you really start to think about, why am I being triggered? Is it actually what they said? Is it actually what they did? Is it actually the individual themselves that is triggering me? Or is it just buried emotions that I am actually projecting onto that individual? So, and I'm actually picking up a bit of a sensation with the root chakra. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of buried family guck that is wanting to surface with this new moon and wants to be released. And like I said, this energy really supports that. So don't resist it. Resistance right now is really futile. It is really, really going to just kick your ass so much more intensely than necessary. So I always encourage people that during new moon and during intense energy, not just new moon, full moon, but during any intense energies, it's just, you're doing yourself a favor if you're willing to go with the flow and if you're willing to release and let go instead of resist and hang on. So you can now realize how some of these triggers don't need to be triggering you anymore. And if you are willing to, like I said, surrender and release those things that are buried within, that have to do perhaps with family, with mom, with dad, with siblings, with aunts, uncles, anyone that you feel has ever really hurt you in your past, if you're really willing to look at those wounds right now and allow those emotions to rise out of you and to be released, then you're really going to essentially lose your trigger buttons. Okay. So those buttons that people push, verbally or emotionally within you have an opportunity to fall away right now. And don't we want that? I want that. I don't want to be triggered. I want to maintain the peace that I feel, right, within myself. So maybe grab a pen and paper and write these questions down and ponder them over the weekend and over the coming week as well, because this energy isn't just over the weekend. This is like Monday, Tuesday, well into next week. We've got a lot of different things going on, which I'll be sharing in a moment. So, question: am I still carrying pain from my past heartbreaks, pain from past trauma, from perhaps childhood wounding? Any sadness? Am I carrying any sadness? Ask yourself that. From any disappointment, from failure, or from loss? Am I carrying any resentment? Ask yourself that, because failure and loss are not easy things to go through. We all experience them at one point or another in our lives, and it's very important to be willing to release that so that you can really have a fresh start and stop carrying this heavy baggage around with you that doesn't serve you. It weighs you down. It holds you back on so many levels and really prevents you from experiencing joy and happiness and the present moment, in the flow of the present moment. Another question to ask yourself: how would I feel if I let that go? If I cried it out? If I talked about it with someone? Or perhaps if I journaled about it? Would I feel lighter, more free, unburdened? Then my next question to you is, do you want to feel free, more free within your emotional world? Because like I said, this new moon has to do it's all about the emotions. That's what it has to do with. This is really, truly taking a very honest look at our emotions right now. You can use exercise also at this time to help release some of these emotions. So getting out for a run, going for a walk, taking a hike, doing a Zumba class, a yoga class, like whatever your little heart desires, whatever works for you, choose it and just do something that is going to move your body. It's really going to help flush out these emotions, because our emotions get trapped in our physical bodies and people don't realize that. A lot of the aches and pains that you have is actually energy blockages. And these energy blockages come from stored emotions, usually negative emotions, not from positive ones. So are you willing to move your body and give yourself that freedom, that space, so that these things can truly move through and out of your body? And exercise, like I said, will really help facilitate that. The other thing I want to mention here is water. The importance of water as it pours outside. The incredible importance of water. I've been feeling it myself. The need to drink more water, to consume more water is really important at this time. Again, to help flush, to help soften, to help release, right? When you think about water, water is so fluid. It's so flowing. So it helps you to flush things out of your system. And it really does help you to actually wash away, those emotions that you are now fully ready to release. And just think about this for a moment. Think of how wonderful and refreshed you feel after having a shower, or after having a swim, or after swimming in a lake, whatever, or even after having a salt bath. Think of how freshened up and free and lighter you feel after that. Why do you think that is? It's because water always washes away, and it helps to wash away negative energy. It helps to cleanse it and remove it. So taking a salt bath, walking in the rain, going for a swim, all of these things are going to also help and assist with releasing emotions, with helping to wash those things away and to get them out of your energy field. Now, revelation and breakthrough energy is very much here with this new moon. So it's helping you make better choices that move you towards your highest good. So lots of revelations and breakthroughs are possible at this time with this new moon and in the coming week, because as you empty yourself, you're making space for new information to come in. So with this revelation and breakthrough energy, this really means that it is very important right now for us to pay attention to your needs right now, okay? What do you need? This is going to be very important throughout this weekend and through next week. What do you need emotionally? What do you need physically? What do you need mentally? And what do you need spiritually at this time? Like right now, in each and every present moment. Like emotionally, do you feel like you need a release? And be honest with yourself when it comes to these things. Physically, do you feel like you need rest, or do you feel like you need a vacation? Do you feel like you need to move your body or exercise? What is it that you feel that you need physically? And then mentally, do you feel like you need some quiet time? Do you feel like you need to just pause? Do you feel like you want to think less, perhaps meditate, perhaps pray, just go into different thought modes? Perhaps mentally you feel like you also need a break, where you don't want to be thinking about work or don't want to be processing all kinds of, to-do lists and different responsibilities. So be very, very mindful of what your needs are emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally this weekend. Learn to honor your needs. That was the other message I was getting. That is very, very important for us to learn to honor our needs, which means stop mindlessly pushing yourself. Don't just keep pushing and pushing, even though and your body is maybe screaming at you, or your soul is maybe screaming at you, like, stop, I don't want to do this right now. I just need this. I need a pause. I need a break, whatever it is you need. Be very honest and pay attention to your needs. Own your power when it comes to taking care of yourself. That was a huge message. And I've been getting this message actually all week, how incredibly important it is to really take our power back when it comes to taking care of ourselves, when it comes to that self-care, that self-love, that self-nurturing that we all really crave at this time. Personal trust exercise about what you are feeling and sensing is really what this is. So can you trust yourself? Can you trust what your body is saying? Can you trust what your thoughts or your feelings are saying? Can you really actually dig deep within yourself and really listen with your heart, not with the mind, and tune in to what those needs really truly are at this time? And can you honor those needs? Can you actually take some action or do whatever it is you need to do to honor those needs? So that being said, this is just the 17th, okay? This is like new moon kind of energy and message that I was picking up. So then July 18th, we have the North Node moving from Taurus into Aries, and the South Node will be moving from Scorpio into Libra. So this is a big deal. The North Node has been in Taurus for approximately the last 2 years, so for quite some time. And now with it moving out of Taurus into Aries, and by the way, this was kind of a bit tough. The North Node in Taurus was really teaching us about work. It was really asking us to look at our work life and figure out, is there balance in my work life? Do I like what I do? Do I enjoy the job that I'm working or that I'm doing day in and day out? So these are the questions that we have been really looking at within ourselves for the last couple of years. And now that the North Node is moving out of Taurus and into Aries, now it's going to be Aries is the self. Aries has to do with the self, with the inner self, the outer self. And it's going to be asking us to be paying attention to that. How are you feeding yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you nurturing yourself? Are you really focused upon yourself, or are you always externally focused on other people or other people's life or other people's stuff? That's what this North Node shift is going to be really kind of waking us up to. So there is like this bust through energy with that, because once the North Node moves out of Taurus and into Aries, you're going to notice that you're going to just naturally feel inclined to take your power back. You're not going to want to sit in old energy. You're not going to want to sit in your old ways. And you're certainly not going to want to keep giving your power away to external things, to other people, to situations, to work perhaps that you don't enjoy. This is a big bust through energy. We're going to be calling our power back in a huge way. This is also like declaration energy, where you are now declaring like, you know what? I'm done with this. I've done it. I understand how I feel about it. I see very clearly now how I feel about it, and I'm ready to take action. I'm ready to make a change. I'm ready to do something different that now I feel is going to be better for me. So yeah, this is like a no messing around kind of energy. So, and this is also about taking very intense control of your life. So you may have already been feeling this shift because it's been already happening right as we work our way closer and closer to that date of the July 18th when the North and South Node shift. But that taking intense control of your life, and basically we're saying to ourselves at this time, like, I got this. Like, you're going to feel powerful. You're going to really feel your power emerge from within you. So, and you're going to say, I got this because I am the hero that I have been waiting for. And so the changes that I am seeking are up to me. There's this like deeper realization within oneself at this time that, you know, I'm ready to kick obstacles to the curb and not give in to them and not allow them to be blocking my progress forward. Aries and North Node is going to be one heck of a ride. So I'm super excited for it, to be honest with you. So this is major maturation energy as well. So there's a blossoming into the powerful version of ourselves as we all move through these energies and as these energies move through us. So my question to you is, do you feel it? Do you feel like you're growing up? Do you feel like you're maturing into this wiser, more sure, more powerful version of yourself? Do you feel it? Because I feel it. Yeah, you're growing up and you mean business. That is the feeling that a lot of us are going to have with this energy. And that's wonderful, because I really think it's time for a lot of us to take our power back when it comes to a lot of different situations and relationships and circumstances and work and all of that. But just in general, you know, humanity really has to, excuse my language, but grow some balls and really start standing up for themselves and, you know, becoming this more powerful version where it's like, we also have a say in things. We also have the power to really dictate how our life goes. So I think we should stop giving our power away continuously to other people and to our leaders. Joint decisions, you know what I mean? Everybody has a right to their opinion and to how they think things should go. Moving on to, you will no longer feel comfortable with others telling you how to live your life, which segues into what I was just saying about humanity taking back control. So you're not going to be okay with people telling you how to live your life or allowing their opinion to sway your own thoughts or feelings. So control over our own emotional world is going to intensely rise and become more grounded within us, where we are now really seeking more internal guidance and guidance from spirit rather than guidance from, you know, mom and dad or friends and family or coworkers or whatever. There's just this really focused more like, you know what? I actually want to know what my higher self has to say, not what other people have to say. So you may become less interested in watching like tarot readers, for example, especially low vibe ones. So be very selective. And I just wanted to kind of mention that it can get very confusing and it can get very much in the way of your progress, actually, to be watching excessive amounts of like tarot card readings and stuff like that. Get your own cards, pull your own cards, use your own energy, and allow your own energy to dictate, what is happening, and to show you actually what is happening, because the cards don't dictate anything. The cards are simply showing possibilities and showing energy. So I think it's time, even with that, for us to kind of take our power back and stop listening so much to other people, and what their cards are, because their cards are always influenced by their energy, right? And a lot of those messages may not actually be right for you. Sometimes, even if it resonates, it may not necessarily be right for you. So just keep that in mind. So notice who or what makes you feel disempowered. That's what this really comes down to. And the ones that make you feel empowered, the ones that make you feel like, yes, that's exactly the message I needed to hear right now. Wonderful, great. It's not about, I'm not saying that, you should stop watching them altogether, or that, any of those tarot readers are bad. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying discernment is going to be very important at this time, and using your own wisdom rather than seeking wisdom outside of yourself. Notice if you want others to rescue you. Are you feeling like, victim? Is that victimhood or victim mode still coming up? Is that pattern still in existence within you? And if it is, can you reverse that and say, you know what? I can handle anything that comes my way. I don't need rescuing. I don't need saving, because I am the hero of my own journey. And I am the person that can rescue myself by taking the right action, by doing the right things that I know nurture and feed me in the right way. Connect to your intuition and higher self for guidance at this time. Very, very important. If you can do some meditations over the weekend, particularly on the 17th, on the Monday, definitely make some time to really tune into the energy. See what the energy wants to say to you. See what it wants to bring forth from you. Allow it. And if you feel you're getting extremely emotional because it's going to be such an intense day, then that's okay. Be extremely emotional. Be vulnerable. Be willing to show yourself that who you are, that you're able to cry, that you have feelings, that you're able to display those feelings, and not have any shame or guilt or any of those yucky feelings around it. So the intuition and higher self will be whispering and giving you information, actually, particularly on the new moon day, about how to reallocate your energy. And this is why I'm encouraging everyone to do meditation at this time. So this is about not getting into the past, but future progress. Because this new moon wants us to release the past once and for all and really step into the present moment so that we can make better future progress. Don't waste your energy, whether it's mental energy, spiritual, physical, emotional. Be very mindful and very discerning about what you are putting energy into also at this time, who you are putting energy into, who you are giving your time to. Time is a form of energy, right? Really, really think about these things and just reevaluate and see, does this work for me? Does this fill my cup? Does this make me feel good to invest my energy here? Or do I feel like I'm actually maybe wasting a lot of time? Am I spending a ton of time on social media scrolling? Really look at the time and how much time and energy you spend on certain things and people and places, and how that's making you feel. It's like do a check-in. So now we're just going to move to the Cardinal Grand Cross that we have happening. This is happening simultaneously on the day of the new moon, July 17th, and will be lasting until about the 21st, 22nd of July. So this is going to be around for a good week or so, and it's intense. This is why I keep saying, this month is this last week of July, and not of July, well, sort of, but of Cancer season specifically, is going to be very intense. So what does this Cardinal Grand Cross really mean for us? Well, you can ask yourself, what obsessions or addictions can you look at truthfully that you have gotten comfortable with? And really be willing to look at it here, maybe write them down. And this could be, so for examples I wrote down here are, some people are addicted to pain, to their past stories. And some people are just obsessed with repeating their past stories and telling it over and over and over again to kind of every person they meet. You know, some people are addicted to overthinking or obsessed with overanalyzing everything, you know, and just ask yourself and kind of tune in. Do I do that? Another example I wrote down is over obsessed with celebrities and power figures. And this was an example that just spirit sort of highlighted in my brain as I was writing these notes. And it's giving them a lot of attention equals giving them a lot of energy. So people sometimes don't realize that when they are really, really like fangirling over somebody, you're actually pumping an immense amount of energy into that individual because your focus, your attention is on them. And I made a video about this before, that where your focus is where your energy goes. So be very mindful of what you focus on. So even that, I feel like needs to shift. You know, we put people on pedestals, and I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's balanced. We need to recognize that we're all just people. And yes, some of us are in the spotlight. Some of us are in media, and you know, some become celebrities and hugely known and worldwide known names. But that doesn't mean that we need to like obsess over them. We don't need to be always focused upon them. So if you are someone like that, or if there is someone that you are particularly like kind of obsessed over, then just, you know, reevaluate that a little bit and ask yourself, why do I want to push so much of my energy or put so much of my energy into this person? Can I pull some of that energy back and that power back into myself and actually invest it in myself and into improving my life? Now, this message obviously won't be for everyone, but I'm sure it will find the right people. Venus and Chiron is also going retrograde from July 22nd. So July 22nd, 23rd. It's like 20 seconds, I think just shortly after midnight approximately is when it's going. So for some people, it'll be the 22nd, some it'll be the 23rd. And Venus and Chiron going retrograde is a big deal also, because it isn't something that has happened in a while. These two have not coupled up this way in a while. And Chiron, as we know, is the wounded healer. So this is slowing us down so we can really look at ourselves, where we put our power, how we use it, who and what we give it away to, consciously or unconsciously. So, which is what I was just talking about. So this is a big release energy this week. It's to make space for your power, to clear out emotions that are bogging you down, especially emotions that you don't share with others, that are deeply personal for you. Okay, so those are the emotions specifically that will be really addressed this coming week. And it's really about honoring your own growth and progress to allow for a new beginning. So that's what this new moon has to do with, guys. It's a huge one. And like I said, with the Grand Cross, we've got Venus, Chiron, and retro. We've got so much in the North Node, South Node shifting. There's so much happening in this last week of Cancer. It is extremely important that we are very aware. Go in, go within, check in. Where do I need to express? Where do I need to release? Where do I need to be honest with myself? And where do I need to take action? Ask yourself these questions over these coming days and weeks, and you will get some very, very deep insights. Be inquisitive. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hit a like on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.